Go ahead, take us in, Grant.
I'm not recording yet.
We are.
Yeah.
Are we?
Is my right. Welcome to Onions, Twigs and Wigs.
Damn, baby.
The podcast about music.
Sometimes.
This tune, the second we're talking about "Replace Me," by the way. The second this song hits is the second that the album, because again, like another thing that Johnny, before you got on the conversation, me and Steve were talking about is like, what do you think? Like overall sort of conversations about the album. And again, like we both said, like it sounds like it was written and recorded at like 6 months apart, because it sounds like the first. And it might not necessarily be like the first half and the second half of the album, but it's half of the album sounds like it was recorded by Nas just in his regular, I've got all the time in the world, that sort of thing, like just going in, doing what he does all the time, working with the people he usually works with or whatever. And then the second half sounds like he's stuck at home recording with people, and it sounds like he's working with new people because he can't get access to the people that he's used to working with. And I could be totally wrong on that, but that's what it sounds like to me. And this is the first track where that comes through real heavy for me. Like that whole having the new producer thing is very evident on this track straight away.
I think once again, I think that's just Nas just trying to get with the new sound and the new crowd. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you get to a certain age and it's like, well, this is what the kids are doing, so let me try to let these kids know, like, yo, I still got it. Let me show you something real quick. The track "Replace Me," gotta say, wasn't a fan of Big Sean's verse, but I'm not really a fan of Big Sean, period.
I just love that song with Nicki Minaj. She does ass.
Yeah, that's a stupid song. But
I remember being 19, 20 years old, going to clubs, and the girls I was going to the clubs with, they always requested that song. I remember vividly doing things that I would never dream of doing now because of that song. At certain venues. It's got a special place in my heart. That being said, I couldn't name you a fucking other thing Big Sean's ever done. Other than this one song that we're talking about now.
Yeah.
But
yeah, man, like this song is deep. It's like, it's really like cocky Nas, you know what I'm saying? He's like, you can't replace me like a battery. Can't mistake him for nasty. You know my anatomy. Your body, my body is voodoo probably. Like, he's like, he really goes in. And he's just talking to a female, just saying like, yo, like I'm probably the best you've ever had and you're ever going to have. So why replace me? Like,
it's the king. It's the king part of the album.
Yeah, come on, holler at me. And then and honestly, like, I give props to Big Sean because Sean kind of does the same. Like, he's like, yo, like, I've done this, I've done that for you, boom, boom, boom. So yeah, I'm actually the best that you've ever had. Like, I've even done this for your daughter. You know what I'm saying? I bought something for your father. Like, you know what I'm saying? I've done this and that, spent time with your family. Like, who else is out here doing that for you? Nobody. Big Sean is.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying?
So I'm just looking at it now. I'm looking at the text of like Big Sean's verse. And it just made me think of like one more reason why I've always really loved Nas. Is because he doesn't rely on his accent to get rhymes out. Like, here, imagine me doing like Big Sean's verse, like in my accent, and just like read the first 3 lines, rhyming hours, power, and stars.
Well, yeah, that
you know
wasn't,
what I mean? Like
that wasn't a rhyme though.
No, but you know what I mean. Yeah, no, it was stars.
No, or like he didn't really rhyme it. It was kind of the way that he wrote it. Like I talk a little sweet about me, a lot of sour. I know.
Yeah, but sour
I know
too.
that you believe in stars, right? But like I know that you believe in stars, and then he stops. Like if you listen to the song, like he breaks, and then he goes.
And he says stars again.
Right, and just like he says, and just like the stars, and just like stars, you know your words got a lot of power. You know I'm good at reading you. I spend like 10,000 hours. Like I've written songs like that where it's like you have that. Like he doesn't have to rhyme like stars, and and that's okay. You know what I'm saying? Because like then right after that he's making his point. Like
Well,
I
it's
gotta.
like, I mean, the way that you're saying it now, it's like a reverse limerick. But you know what I mean? Like the rhyming pattern is like a limerick upside down. But
yeah.
But the way that I heard it and the way that I'm reading it as well.
Right.
Looking back
Reading
at
it is like
well,
it's gonna
reading
mess
it.
you
Well,
up.
But this is
Yeah.
what I mean. Like, yeah, reading it. But I remember like hearing it too. I remember thinking stars. Like the poetry guy in me
Mhm.
was just thinking that's a tough one.
Mhm.
I've never ever thought about like a Nas rhyme and thought, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
I've thought that he's been lazy sometimes, like just like trying to get a rhyme out of a, because like, I mean, 27 summers, you're gonna have a couple of moments where you just have to make it rhyme, obviously.
Yeah. But I mean, like he doesn't try to make it seem like I don't know, it's like sometimes like it's more about getting the point across than actually, making a rhyme. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of
yeah.
I kind of give Sean his props on that. Cause like right after that, like, and just like the stars, your words got a lot of power. I'm good at reading you. I spent like 10,000 hours. I must have brought you 10,000 flowers. Ignore red
I like
flags
that.
and audibles.
I like that rhyme.
Like
10,000
he
flowers
went
rhyme. I like that.
in on that joint, but then
That's
like right
nice.
after
Yeah.
like he
the
redeems
10,000 himself very quickly.
Right.
But yeah.
And it's like right after the 10,000 flowers joint, then he switches to the rhyme. Ignore red flags and audibles. I even bought your daughter clothes and your father clothes, and I bought you diamonds even though I got a heart of gold. Like I give him like he went in. Like, you know what I'm saying? Though gold, clothes, daughter clothes,
but
father
that's what
clothes.
I'm talking. Yeah, but see, that's what I'm
went in.
talking about. Like, there's, and I'm not saying that this is like definitely a bad thing. I'm just saying it's definitely like my personal taste thing.
Yeah.
Like Big Sean, if he didn't have the accent that he has, would it still be a rhyme? And a lot of the time, it wouldn't be.
I think it depends on your delivery. And
Well,
to
that's
be
what I'm
honest,
saying. Like if I was saying the same verse,
Mhm.
the way that I speak,
Right.
those words wouldn't rhyme.
Right. It wouldn't sound good.
But see,
It'll
this is,
rhyme,
this
it wouldn't sound
this
good.
is just like this is like a kind of fucked up thing in the back of my mind because I hear a song and I think, well, what if I'm going to cover this song?
Right.
Like I can't do that verse.
Right.
All of Nas's verses, like outside of an N bomb, like I could do it,
Yeah.
and it would sound like it rhymes.
Right.
You know
I
what
agree.
I mean?
I agree. Yeah. And I think that's one of the reasons.
I think that's just one reason why I've never like gone out of my way to like listen to Big Sean, because
Yeah.
I can hear that. As far as I'm concerned, he's not actually rhyming. He's only rhyming because he got lucky with his accent.
Well,
That's just the way that the old back of my head works. Like I'm not saying that's what it is. I'm just. It's definitely a very unfair critique of Big Sean. Like I'm very aware that I'm not being very fair to him right now, but
I think with Sean though,
I don't know.
I think with Sean, he's like, because I actually think he is rapping. I mean, it's clear just like reading this verse that he's actually rhyming, but it's his delivery, man, and that's the reason why I personally didn't really like the verse. Like I'm reading it now, and I'm like, yeah, it sounds dope, but listening to it, Sean is just like very late. Yeah, I know I'm seeing stars. And just
well, he's
like
the bridge. He's the bridge to
blah.
mumble rap.
You know what I'm saying? It's
Big
like
Sean.
he just
Wobble dee
10,000
wobble dee
hours,
wobble, stack of my
His-
papers. My wallet
his
looks like a
tone-
Bible. I got girlies half naked.
His
That shit look like a
tone-
brothel. Bitch, how you anorexic and that your ass is colossal. You know, like
It's
he
his
mumbles,
tone.
he half mumbles that shit. Yeah.
It's his tone. Like his tone,
Yeah.
it just doesn't do it for me. It's like I don't want to listen to that. You know what I'm saying? But
what
I
if
mean,
what if he
you
was
know,
with Snoop Dogg? It would be different because Snoop Dogg's kind of like, yeah, he's very laid back and he's very
If-
behind the beat. And
if
I reckon Big
and
Sean would
Snoop-
sound much better with Snoop Dogg than he does with Nas.
It depends on the beat and it depends on what they talking about. Because to be honest, like I would
can
rather
imagine
hear
them-
Snoop than hearing Big Sean.
No, but I can imagine Snoop doing a song with Big Sean.
Yeah, I could.
And like in my head, it seems like it would make a lot more sense than this one.
Mhm. Yeah.
Because like I don't know, like Nas sounds like he should be rapping with like Method Man or like fucking, you know what I mean, like guys from the Wu-Tang or
Right.
guys that aren't Biggie Small, like post Biggie Smalls and Snoop Dogg, very like laid back and chilled,
Right. They're
but
like
not
hardcore
like
hip hop cats.
but not like Ice Cube aggressive.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
No, I totally understand.
yeah.
Yeah. And it's the truth, but at the same time, it's like, you know, Nas is trying to get into this new realm, man, where it's like, you know, I wanna, you know, collab with some younger cats. I want to get down with some cats who are out here doing their thing. They're out here killing it right now, and they have their own sound. And I'm like, okay, cool, you know, and I respect that.
Oh no, 100%. Like, I mean,
yeah.
I'm not like the last fucking thing I want to sound like is that what I'm saying is like an objective fact. Like, it's not. It's literally the way that I'm hearing it.
Right.
And the preconceptions that I have going in before I listen to it. It's very specifically me. Yeah, which I think is it's I don't know. Like, Steve, what you've been listening? What do you think? Sorry, me and Johnny just went on this giant this giant Big Sean rant.
I don't know anymore. I don't know what my opinion is on this song anymore. I don't know. I'm not a big Big Sean fan, if that makes sense. That's about as far as I can
Well,
get with
I
it.
think we've all established that none of us are.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So we got that down.
I really like the one
Hit
song
the-
from him. But
Hit the gavel. Hit the gavel, son.
I don't think this song needs a 45-minute review.
Sorry, no, but it's.
That's why
I think
I'm
that
like,
it's.
been sat for 3 hours. Come on.
Has it? Oh crap.
I've got to cook food and do things. I'm like,
that's what I said, man.
yeah, I think
This is gonna be tough. It's gonna be a tough
Okay.
review. All right, let's move on. We're almost done.
Till the War is Won.
Till the War is Won. I dig it.
this is an amazing song.
Yeah, very right.
Absolutely right. We
Very.
all agree.
Bang. Next.
Yeah.
Done, son.
This might be one of the songs that we're supposed to talk about. You know,
Yeah. This is a
'Cause,
tune.
he says some fucked up shit in it though.
Like what?
Well, I mean, just some stuff that's really. It just sounds really heavy. Like, what was it? He had a. Was it like that? He had a dad but not a mum, but he wishes it was the other way around.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of grimy.
Like it's like he says some. He says some
No, he said
heavy
basically
shit
he
in
wishes
it,
his
you
dad
know?
died instead of
Yeah,
his mom.
pretty much.
Instead of his mum. Like he
Well,
wishes it was flipped. It's like he had
yeah,
a mum
'cause
and
if
not a
you-
dad instead of a dad and not a mum.
If you know the history,
like-
man, like so like the first Lost tape, right? He's got a song called Fetus, and it's literally him rapping like, you know, like as a fetus. You know what I'm saying? He starts off by saying like, you know, the first
Inside,
month
yeah.
they talked about getting rid of me, yada yada yada. 3 months go by, I'm still alive. I guess I got what they call the ill will to survive. And he really goes in that song because he talks. There's this one line where he says, bare fist fights, so terrified when we fell. Why they broke up furniture and smashed plates on the wall. I wonder if I am born, will I be safe at all?
Yeah.
Like he's telling this story about,
Yeah.
you know, it gets deep.
Right.
He's telling this story about how, you know, his parents' relationship was before he was even born. And it was a terrible relationship, you know. And then there's also another song on there called Papa Was a Player. And he only talks about his dad on that one. And in that song, he talks about his dad, catching his dad cheating. Like, he opens up the bathroom door. It's like a lady in there. His pants is down. And his dad is like sniffing a plate of Coke. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, yo, Dad, why you butt naked from the waist? And who this lady I'm facing? Dark skin, you not my mommy. He pulled me round, run some smooth words by me, promised me things that he would buy me if I kept my mouth closed. And like, it was just like crazy. Yo. Like he goes in. So definitely, you know, all of our listeners and viewers, plus you two guys, definitely go check those two songs out, because that will really explain the history. Yeah, that'll really explain the history behind you know, Nas and his mom and his dad. He you know, he said it before, like his mom was like an angel to him, man. You know what I'm saying? She was like everything to him. And his dad made a lot of mistakes. And he's forgiven them and everything like that. But it's one of the things where, like, to be honest, if he had to choose, he would choose to have his mom still here over his dad.
That's just a heavy thing to say.
But it is, man.
But regardless of your scenario, like,
but his
like
dad,
where you come
his dad
from, like
beat his mom and whatever. So I mean,
yeah. No, I'm just saying, like, in general, that's just a really like heavy thing to put on a record. You know,
it is.
Like,
it is.
You know, props.
But
fucking
I give him props. I mean,
it's a lot of courage
like,
there's a lot of courage to be that honest about something, and like that, and not to like smother it in poetry, just like say it.
But he also he had his own issues. I mean, depending on who you ask, I suppose people are going to say yay or nay. It's one of those. But you know, he's accused of beating up Khalees when he was married to her.
Yeah,
and he mentions
I was about
a
to say,
couple of things on his album about it.
Well, he's had a pretty decent history of getting accused of like having a lot of misogynistic traits.
Yeah, I mean,
just having women problems, man.
Yeah,
you know?
but he doesn't cover himself in glory with like some of the stuff he says about women, and he comes across as quite hypocritical. He'll be like talking about how powerful black women should be, and then talking shit about them.
Yeah.
So it's
but
like
you know
a
what?
lot of
these.
That might be
I mean, that's a rap thing as well. I mean, you know,
that might be my favorite thing about Nas is that he's like, if you could listen to him over a couple of albums and he contradicts himself. He's easily like the most human.
I was going to say he's more
rapper.
human in that respect, I suppose. But
he ain't the only one. Common, Tupac.
Oh, Common, yeah.
Common.
I mean,
Tupac. All of them guys, especially Pac. Pac, you know, Pac was a Gemini, so Pac would be all gangster 1 minute, lovey-dovey 1 minute. It's like, bro, which one you gonna be?
Pac wasn't. Pac, as prolific as he was, he wasn't around long enough to act like to be like what like. Yeah, you mentioned Common. That's a really good example.
Right.
Like, you know, he says some shit in the mid '90s and he says some shit in the mid 2000s. You're like, wait a minute, you said in the mid '90s.
And he had to go back and like, you know, what's the word? Had to go back and recant.
See, that bums me out. Like, don't recant. Fucking.
Well,
just say,
not
say,
really.
listen to me. I learned my lesson.
Well, as long as you've grown, as long as you've grown from the situation, you know, you got.
Right.
Well, and also,
like,
it's okay. It's okay to be hypocritical. Like, I mean,
right.
This is one thing that really fucking sucks about the human race right now, is that with the internet and shit, everybody expects people to have a 100% ironclad point of view on everything.
Right.
And nobody does. Like, the amount of, like, there is not one issue and there is not one person that has an opinion on that one issue that is ironclad. If you really dug at them, like if you just like prodded them with the stick long enough, you would get them to say something that you can dive into and say, well, you said this, and it's gonna make a contradiction. Like, people are not perfect,
right? And
people are learning things 100% of the time, all the time. The fact that I'm supposed to be expected to have a completely ironclad opinion on something when I change my fucking mind on everything every 2 weeks, it's an unattainable standard of excellence that you can't be upheld to. And I love it when someone like Nas changes his mind but doesn't bother to address it. Because he is addressing it in his albums.
I think with this situation with Nas, he's not. Like in this song specifically, he says, these coward men that were beating on you. And then he goes, never me. And it's like, that to me is like, when I was like,
he did say that though.
he does.
He
If
did.
you listen to
He
it
did say
again,
that,
when you
didn't
hear it
he?
again, he goes, never me. And it's like, oh man, shut up. It's like, if you didn't do
But
it,
did he-
rap
but did
about
he
it. Like,
ever-
do a proper verse about it. Don't just go, it wasn't me. Like, I just found out it like,
But did he ever
It's
like
funny, though.
admit to?
It's funny.
Did he ever admit to putting hands on?
he's
Khalees?
never admitted, no.
I would assume no.
Because Khalees
Yeah,
Khalees is a little crazy for real. So I mean, you know, but you know what I'm saying.
You so much
I ain't,
right now.
I ain't.
I mean, I had a big crush. I had a big crush on Khalees when she came out. And then I saw her on stage, like on TV once. I was like, "Whoa, she's full on! She's full on!
Yeah,
She was amazing on
yeah.
stage, actually."
Yeah, but let me let me
I used to
let me
think she
share
had the
this,
coolest. Yeah.
Let
Yeah,
me
go for
let me
it.
share this bar real quick from Common, because you guys know Common did the "I Used to Love Her" talking about hip hop, and he did that back in the '90s. Classic, right? And if you're listening to it, he's talking about hip hop and just how when it first started, and then how it got to where it is now. I'm such a Common fan that when he released the second version of that on his latest album, it's called Her Love. Soon as I heard it, I was like, "Oh, this is part 2."
Dude, I remember you schooling me on Common like maybe
Remember?
a year ago when we
Yeah.
were talking about Common, and you were just like, man, you know, her, like, you know, every time he says she or her, it's like he's talking about hip hop.
Right.
And I'm
But,
like,
legit.
What? I'm like,
Like legit.
holy shit.
Legit. So in the new song, right, the part 2, because I had always been saying, I'm such a fan that I was always saying, like, man, Common, it's been like 20 years since he dropped I Used to Love Her. He really needs to make a part 2 because hip hop has changed even more and evolved even more. So he's got this line in here where he says, you know, in my life you've been vocal, but sometimes I felt like I didn't know you. Now I know you had to grow too and experience life so you can know you. And you know, he goes in and just like he just talks about how he's saying, okay, in the first song, right? And this is when he's like, you know, kind of not recanting, but just kind of admitting like, okay, maybe I was a little harsh. Because the first song I was like, man, you changed and, you know, I still love you. But or I used to love her, but now I don't because like you changed so much and yada yada. And this song, he's saying, okay, you changed, but now I understand. 20 years later, I understand that you had to change.
Yeah.
That's the only way you're gonna be able to grow. You know what I'm saying? You can't stay the same. You know, you gotta evolve, you know? So he actually admits that in a song. It took 20 years.
Yeah.
Did he ever explain it outside of the song, or did he just leave it?
I don't know. I bet you he did.
I hope that he just left it.
I was about to say
because-
that should stand on its own as the art that
Yeah.
it is, you know.
I mean,
Well, this
it's so
that's why
literal.
art. But that's why art is important. Like you can say something that's going to appeal to a mass amount of people,
Yeah.
and not just. But you're talking about something that means something to you.
Yeah.
But you say it in a way. You say it in an artistic way that it means something to a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
The second you have to explain it, and it stops being considered as art, and it starts being, people start taking it literally, it loses, all the magic gets thrown away.
Right.
It's like when the magician tells you how he does the trick, you know, like all the magic's gone. Like, so I hope that he didn't explain it. Like, and this is why I like Nas a lot of the time, because he doesn't need to explain himself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it doesn't matter if you think that he's a hypocrite. It's like, yeah, of course he's a hypocrite. Everybody in the world is a hypocrite.
Yeah.
Everybody.
And to be honest, like every artist has had that moment where they're like, man, like I really wish I didn't say that.
Of course.
I just read the book, the Emperor of Sound. It's kind of like an autobiography of Timbaland. and it's a dope read. It's actually, well, I've listened to the audiobook. But yeah. I'll just be honest, you know what I'm saying? I'll just be honest. But it's an actual book. So it's a dope listen and a dope read. But he talks about working with Jay. And he mentions how Jay mentions, I think in a book or like in an interview, how there was one particular song where he's talking about women. He's like very degrading. And Jay's like, man, I wish I never released that song. He's like, now I got a daughter, you know what I'm saying? I got a wife, and I'm just like, man, like that song, I can't even perform that song anymore. It's like, it's terrible, So it's like, man, we got to be careful as artists, like what we put out there into the world, because, our views as people, are always going to change. As we grow and as we get older, it's always going to change. But at the same time, like you said, G, like, just putting it out there to rebuttal or just to kind of go back and say, you know what, I have a change of heart now. This is how I feel. Put it out there and then let everybody else figure it out.
Well, hey, you put a song out there, or you put a verse out there or whatever, and fuck, like you write a blog on a certain date, you put it out there. Yeah. That's how you feel on that day.
Yeah.
And it's just all it is a documentation of how you felt on that day. You might feel completely different the next day.
Yeah.
That's not important. If, it's like if you have a different opinion in the future from what you've said and what you've put into the public domain, that's completely fine.
All right.
Just because you said something in public, it doesn't mean that that's how you think now. And that's something that a lot of people don't realize or have forgotten.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of people seem to choose to forget that. And it's, I think it's a very dangerous way for people to think.
Mm-hmm.
So I like it when artists don't go out of their way to explain themselves because they don't need to. They don't owe us anything. We owe them something because we're the ones getting something out of their music. We're the people that owe them. That being said, next track.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wait.
Maybe my favorite track.
Shout out to Lil Durk. Lil Durk. You guys probably don't even know who Lil Durk is, but
in my accent, you don't say the K. Lil Durk.
Lil Durk.
Lil Durk.
But
like again, so this is what I'm saying about what I'm saying about the fucking Big Sean verse. It's like, if he was Australian, there would be no syllables.
But shout out to Lil Durk, man, because I was very, very surprised to see him on this track, because I was just like, wow, that was just a shocker for me right there. Because he's a young guy from Chicago, and he definitely kind of has like his own style. Hearing him go off on the track was like very interesting. He talks about his mom and everything like that, so it was pretty dope.
Is Chicago like a big hip hop scene? Because I know you got Kanye, but
yeah. You got Common and Kanye coming out of Chicago.
Oh, Common's from Chicago?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Oh, fucking A. Okay, never mind. Yeah,
okay.
big hip hop scene.
One more bar. I'm sorry. One more bar. Okay. Common said his song, he said in the song one time, he said back in 92, they call me Chi-Town's Nas. Now around the city, I'm one of Chi-Town's gods. I was like, ooh.
I like
that's
that.
A bar.
That's good.
Jesus.
That's
a bar. It's something like that, but that was hard, yo.
That's such an interesting way to pay respect.
Hey,
like it's such an interesting way to say, like, I finally got recognized as like myself after a while. Everyone just thought I was like, no. So, like, that's a really cool way to say it.
He said, now I'm known around the Chi-Town's God. Oh, Jesus Christ. So they kicked off one of these, or they took off one of these tracks. If you guys can see the, the picture from what the picture I showed, it said, "This Ain't Love, But I Love It," featuring The Dream. I don't know what happened to that track, but it's not on the album
that's
anymore.
not there. I haven't heard that one.
Yeah, and I don't know, maybe they had like some disputes or something, but nonetheless, we're gonna move on. What you guys think about that All Bad?
It's one of my favorite ones.
Mm-hmm.
like
Anderson
it. Just
.Paak killed it.
Yes. Yeah.
He went off, man.
See, this whole second half of the album, I started to get like edgy. Just because, like I said, the last track kind of begun that the introduction of that whole like auto-tuned, very modern hip hop thing that I've very well established in past episodes that I'm not the biggest fan of in general. But every time it comes in, I'm thinking, oh no, Nas, what are you doing? And then he
it
spits
really
the way
gets
that he
into
always
it.
spits, and I'm like, oh, okay, it's
It
okay,
works.
it's okay,
Yeah.
it's okay. It's just the hook. It's like exactly the exact same thing happened with Eminem, like that Godzilla song with Juice WRLD.
Yeah.
He spits some of the hardest shit he's ever spat in his life,
Yeah.
but then the chorus is like, you know, like whatever it is, you know.
I'm Juice WRLD's
But,
biggest fan.
yeah.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Hey, I like that Godzilla song. That's got a good hook and shit. Like, you know, actually, his newest single, not the one that you were talking about, Steve. There's
it's on the radio
there's a
again. It's on every
there's-
time I get in the car. Every time.
dude. I don't know about in England, but in Australia, there's a different one, and the one in Australia, it's actually like a good like dance track. Like, it's a different song than the one that you showed me.
Yeah, the one
So
I
I don't
hear.
know.
I do
Like-
everything in my power.
Dude, he's getting the Hendrix
Like,
treatment.
Oh man, come on.
He's getting the Hendrix treatment. He's getting a different single
is.
in Australia to in a UK. Like, fucking, we're gonna talk about Hendrix coming this weekend. We're gonna start talking about Hendrix. But yeah, this is one of my favorite tunes on the album, just because I like the way that it thematically links to the second track. Because it's like a revisiting of themes of the things that I cared about in my youth. Are they really that important? This is the poetry cunt in me coming out again. It's like, God, I see what you're saying. Like, I get it. And I like how deep this is in the album, because I have to remember the second track in order to understand why this one's a really like powerful part.
Yeah.
Like
So-
the first verse that he says when he starts going like, time passes by, I'm asking why. You match my fly, no cap, no lie. Trophy, arm candy, I'm better without it. It's a dub, my love, but I gotta reroute it. It's a lottery, it's loaded. Hope I can see all the motives before she make a fool out of me. I know because I'm like, you know, stuff
I'm
like
older.
that. Like, I know because I'm older.
But key words
He's talking about the same things that he talked about in the second song, the Blue Benz song. But he's
Right.
but now he's talking about it with with the years of wisdom behind him.
Right, but check this out though, because this actually might be directed towards somebody in particular, and a lot of people believe that it's Nicki Minaj. They actually dated like a couple years back. It was very short lived, but
Ew.
yeah, I know. Yeah, it was weird. But no, like Nicki dropped.
shouldn't say ew. I'm sorry.
Nicki dropped a song. She dropped a song, can't remember the name of it, but Nas was like the what do they call that, where it's like you have like that person who's supposed to be your love interest. So Nas was the love interest in her video. And like at the end of the video, like, you know, they were making out and everybody was like, oh snap. like what's up with that? You know what I'm saying? So come to find out, like, they were dating for a while. It wasn't like a big thing, but you know, they were, you know, they were seen out in public a few times, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. So yeah, man, you know, I think that's where that line, you know, I should have known better before she make a fool out of me. I should know better I should know because I'm older. He's really talking about, he said, we look good together when we was out in public. You used to brighten my day. Had me hype as a kid. First, good morning, good night. Now she leave me on red. I'm disappointed. It's different chicks who want it. Can't lie, for a minute I was sick to my stomach. He could be talking about Nicki.
Yeah.
Could be.
Yeah, but
And
it could also be just a
could
look
be
back at. I look back at what you were like when you were a kid, and you're just looking back. You're looking back at it now with the benefits of wisdom behind you.
think about it though. He just said,
Yeah.
good morning. No, think about it. He said, good morning, good night. Now you leave me on red. Talking about iMessage.
Yeah.
Text messages. So like he's talking about like this was like recent. Whoever he's talking about, it was recent.
Yeah.
You know, so he ain't really, this ain't one of those like go like I'm talking about something back in the day type of thing. He's like, oh, you left.
See,
Yeah.
this is what I fucking love. This is what I fucking love about art. I didn't catch that line.
Yeah, man. He said now you leave me
Because
on
all
red.
I thought, I listened to it and all I thought was themes from the second song. Like I'm listening to it thematically.
Right.
Whereas but this is we've talked about this a lot. Like whereas you will literally like look at like what they're saying word by word pretty much. Whereas me, I'll listen to it thematically.
Right.
So
and try to put everything together. Yeah.
you see, like
And that's
I'm
the
looking
thing, too.
I'm looking at it like a poetry book and you're looking at it like what are they actually saying?
Right. And that's the thing because like we always think that
That's
Nas
beautiful.
is like Nas is going down the same route and Nas is always like doing the same thing and just always saying the same thing. And it's like, nah, you know, every once in a while he might switch it up. Yeah, we always hear him talking about things of the past and sharing stories of the past and rapping about that. But like he might want to share something that just recently happened, like nowadays, you know what I'm saying? So
I never even considered it.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's-
But yeah, he went in. And you know, so that's one. We don't have to like dive too deep into it, but he definitely went in. You know, and like he talks about a lot of
Yeah. The reason that I thought the way I thought is because, you know, like after the verse, then you've got, you know, where he says you need to stop and breathe. Like stop, breathe, and think. He's saying that sort of stuff.
yeah.
That's why I start thinking like it's like, you know, it sounds to me, it just seems to me like he's saying now that he's in his fucking, you know, late 40s, he's like saying to himself, you shouldn't be making these same mistakes again. You should, like, he's literally saying you should know better because you've made these mistakes before. You should learn from your fucking mistakes. And
Right. And he could be saying that too. You know what I'm saying? It can be like a double, it was not a double entendre, but it could be like one of those like double meanings where it's like, could be saying, yo, like, you know, you're too old for this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but if you're saying that to yourself, then you're probably making the same mistake quite recently.
Exactly. Right.
So
Exactly.
maybe, it makes a lot of sense. Steven, what do you think?
Steve
feel
is
like-
just out
Johnny-
of it right now.
yeah, Johnny-
Steve, do you want to hang up? It just
Yeah.
I had to go to the doctor this morning.
Johnny,
I've been
I
up
feel like
since
you
7
and me
a.m.,
are
so I'm
running
just, like,
away with this,
tired.
and poor old, like, this happened with the Grateful Dead one too. It's like you and me just ran away with it, and poor old Steven's like on his pillow.
like-
Luckily, you got a pillow. Fucking.
I know,
right?
this is
You
it.
just
I'm
fall
just,
asleep.
I'm just tired. We've been here a long time talking about this.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be 2 parts.
Yeah, it is now.
Told you.
It has to be now, doesn't it? Yeah.
Told you.
It's like, who wants to sit down and listen to 6 hours of Bones Twigs?
Me.
No, for me, my favorite part in this is when he gets really petty, but it's just cool. He said, I got no time for juveniles throwing tantrums, texting me that they hate my one-word answers. Here's 2, call me.
He's
That's
definitely
right.
talking about Nicki
He's
Minaj.
definitely
man.
talking about. You know what? You've convinced
There
me
you
now.
go.
That's
He's
it.
definitely talking about Nick. That sounds like Nicki. Y'all know Nicki crazy.
Here's 2, call me.
You know.
Nicki Minaj.
So yeah, man. But dope song, man. Like I said, I love Anderson .Paak on there, and of course Anderson is probably playing drums on that as well. The whole just like the music behind it, it was really dope. Let's get into the definition, and this is crazy because this one goes, of course, to the definition of King's disease.
This is what we were talking about at the very start of this conversation.
Right. Like, because he actually made
Very
a
start of
song
this
called
review.
The Definition.
Yeah.
This
is the one where he talks about his fucking feet. He actually talks about gout, which
Right.
all the respect in the world to him because he understands that King's disease meant gout. So he puts gout in a rhyme.
Yeah.
Not literally, but he, you know.
I mean, I like the fact that, you know, he goes at the the disgrace of a president that you've got. And, you know, I like people, you know, using their art to talk about important stuff as well as entertaining, you know, because that's what it's there for mainly. But no, and Super Predators, because like Young Black Men had this, I can't remember the title, was it the 90s when someone came up with a Super Predators, and it was basically young black males, Super Predators. But yeah, so he rhymes Super Predators with editors, and he goes, our youth is dead to us, they call us Super Predators, stupid word from the president's mouth, where is editors? Like, yeah, that's just, yeah. And then Antarctica's 65 degrees, global warming, they don't want to believe. And they're hanging people on trees, and what the fuck is up with Gayle King, which is, you know...
And I'm sorry, and that was another one too, where, you know, like, just like the Doja Cat thing, he was like, it just rhymes, man, I'm not throwing jabs. It's like, yes, you are, Nas. You're
throwing jabs.
Admit it.
And they're all female.
Right, you know,
this is a problem. That's what I'm saying about Nas being a problem. It's always females he's having a jibe with, and, you know...
But I wouldn't want him to admit it. I would want him to just say nothing.
All he's saying is, it just
and
rhymes.
He's very good. Nas is historically very good at saying nothing.
Yeah.
He's very good at just going, He's very Prince-like in that way.
Yeah.
Historically.
I mean, you could go the Eminem route, which is like, I don't give a fuck what you think. I just wanted to put it on record. I don't care.
Oh, well, Eminem's different. Like, Eminem...
Well, he was going out of his way to just insult as many people as possible.
Eminem will... Eminem, if he does an interview, he will go out of his way to say exactly what he meant because he doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah. Right, yeah.
What you think
M
about
does
it.
Not care.
He wants you to know exactly what he was saying.
Yeah.
But also, he will use some celebrities' names just because they rhyme. And he said that in the past, like, I just rhymed. Man.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, everybody does.
Exactly, yeah. So it's not a big deal. But I think that the fact that Nas is tending to use females, black females, to attack a little bit when he's building them up in other parts of the song, that's when it's the hypocritical thing, which I don't mind in the past, as like Grant was saying before, because we all contradict ourselves, but he does it within songs sometimes. I'm like, it just ruins.
Well, he's doing it within a 38-minute period.
That's what I mean. So that stuff that doesn't sit that well. It's like going, come on, you know what you meant. It's not like it's 2 years ago and you've changed your mind. But you know, but you know what? Whatever. It's art at the end of it.
But this particular album, though, like, here's one thing to think about, and I think we touched on this at the start. It's where he has done a certain portion of the album he's done before COVID hits, and then he's finished it because they don't know when COVID's going to end. So he's picked it up again and finished it and released it. So it's like, you might be in one song, you might be fucking getting a verse where it's him in like November of 19, but then you might be getting another verse or even just another rhyme where it's like him in fucking July 20. Like, you don't know.
Yeah, agreed.
Because the album is being recorded like the Grateful Dead thing, like recorded twice, you know, fucking.
Right. No, I do agree with that.
It's one of those weird things. Like,
so
if it sounds intra-contradictory, it could just literally be that he recorded two things 6 months apart. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a timing thing. But I love the last two lines where he says, scorned woman wanna slump me to fade me to dark. King's disease, I cure this with my art. Yeah. Like, you know, he's admitting to having King's disease, and he's pretty much saying there is a thing called King's disease. And then, of course, the interlude at the end, the definition of King's disease, well, also known as rich man disease. You ain't got to be rich to get it. Just doing too much, you'll get it. Gout, uric acid levels up high.
That's
get you some lemon. I love the line where he's like, get you some lemongrass, some cherries, some alkaline water. Like, the way he said that, I was dying, son. Yeah. He's like, get you some lemongrass, some cherries, some alkaline water. I was cracking up.
He looked up the old remedies.
Right? You know what I'm saying?
He did the research. Dying. I love it. It's great.
I was dying, bro. But yeah, man, like, he's like, you know, he's really telling like a lot of these rap cats, you know, especially the ones right now who you know are on top of their game. He's like, yo, Like, be careful when you get up there. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, you know, King's disease, rich man's disease, same old thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, having too much of it, having too much of something is bad for you. Full Circle.
Great.
The reunion.
Great tune.
Bro.
Great tune. There's
The
not,
reunion.
there's,
Like,
there's
The
not
reunion
enough,
track.
Yeah, there's not enough of. This is a song that I wish could have got on. This is the only song on the album. I feel like it needed more because there's so much talent on there. But you know,
You
that's
wish
a good thing.
this song they could have taken what this song was and made an entire album out of it.
Yeah.
they could have. They could have.
And
That could have
everybody
been the
would
intro.
have everybody would have lost their minds.
When she goes
Yeah,
off, like
yeah.
Foxy Brown, I miss her voice, man. Like, she's
Yes,
just
I do too.
such
But
a
no,
flow.
AZ. AZ, the
right.
rapper after Nas, bro. AZ
God
killed
damn.
it.
yeah.
I was
damn, he's good.
I
good.
was so happy because like AZ just hearing him, I was like, yo, this cat still got it. He hasn't missed a beat. You know what I'm saying? He killed it. I was so happy that that Cormega was on it as well because if you guys know, Cormega had got locked up in the past and he actually had beef with Nas. Like him and Nas had some type of beef or whatever.
They talk
Nas
about it,
actually-
don't they? Doesn't he mention it in this?
in the song? Maybe. I might
like
have
just-
missed that line.
Just like
I might have
could be
missed
wrong.
it. Yeah, I might have
I
missed
could
it.
be wrong, but
But Nas, but you know, but there's been times in the past where like Nas has written like a few songs where he throws jabs at Cormega, and you know, and it's like it's a shame because Cormega was one of the original Firm, you know, what I'm saying, one of the Firm members.
not
and
anymore.
then,
Now he's on the album with him.
Right, exactly.
all
So
good.
apparently, you know, everything's all hashed out and he's all good. They replaced Cormega with a cat named Nature, and I
you
was
just-
kind of like,
That
Huh?
right there was a pretty good spit.
what? They replaced
They replaced
Cormega
Cormega with a cat
Dang,
called Nature.
That is a bar. Ooh,
Hold
I gotta
on
write
to that.
down.
Hold on to
I
that.
gotta
Hold on
write
to that.
that down. They
Johnny,
replaced-
you gotta
They
put that in
replaced
something.
Cormega with a cat named Nature, trying to get this paper. You know, just, I gotta write that down. All right. So anyway, but yeah, so they replaced him. I was a little upset because I was expecting to see Nature on a track. I don't know where Nature is, but you know, I was hoping to hear him on here as well. And then at the end, you hear Dr. Dre, and I was like, that ain't Nature. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was Nature,
Right,
but it's,
okay.
Hey,
it's
Dre's
not.
part of the Firm, man. I like
By the way,
Dre's
I gotta say-
stretch mark thing. Stretch mark from this art gave birth to this. That's Dre. And I stand by every word of this. Like, Malcolm
Yeah.
X with a check. Close curtains, bitch. Yeah, I like Dre.
Dude,
Dre, man.
I like Dre.
I,
I love Dre anyway, but just it's Dre. You know, tongue in cheek, aggressive but sense of humor. Just a few lines at the end, just to be like, cool.
he does. Yeah, he doesn't want to rhyme too much because he doesn't like his own voice.
Yeah,
and
just steps in, does it, steps out.
But he makes sure that whatever lyrics he does say, they're fucking awesome. Yeah, like, classic Dr. Dre.
I'd say,
Man,
Dre, I don't know if you guys like the
love-
Compton album, but the Compton album to me is still one of my favorites
Oh, it's
albums
fucking
of all
dope.
time.
Yeah,
it's a
it's great.
phenomenal hip hop album
It's
that does not get
ridiculous,
enough
yeah.
props at all. And Dre's great.
I'm
on
still
that. Obviously
waiting.
Kendrick's
I'm
on
still
there,
waiting
everyone's on
for.
there.
I'm still waiting for the day that we do a vinyl impressions on 2001. Like,
I've got it right next to me. I got it here right next to me.
yeah, me too. I got it
Oh,
right over
yeah.
there too. Yeah,
Yeah, we gotta do that.
it's like the Chronic is the obvious choice, but we should do 2001.
Nah, 2001.
But
for me,
anyway,
I was 19 years
this
old
track,
when
man,
driving my first car.
All right, dude, this track, fucking AZ's verse.
Yeah,
That's amazing. That's
AZ
the best verse.
killed
Yeah.
it.
The opening of AZ's verse is so impressive to me, and I mentioned this before. I said limerick pattern, just on a from like a poetry point of view. I fucking love it when a rapper throws a limerick pattern in. The first line, he goes, "Dialogue superb, flyest cars on the curb. Word when I evolved, I hire God, emerge reserved." That's a fucking limerick.
So many rhymes.
AABBA. That pattern right there,
So many
AABBA.
rhymes.
So nice.
It's a limerick. There once was a man from Nantucket who saw a
That's
Right.
right. But yeah,
it's
like
such,
he-
but it's such a hard rhyme pattern to put in a rap because you have to accept the fact that the B rhyme is going to be within an A rhyme, a line
Right.
that's going to end on the A
Right.
rhyme. So you have to fit the new rhyme and its rhyme
Right.
into the third A rhyme.
Yeah.
But then you're essentially just doing 3 lines instead of 4.
He went
You know, like
in,
it's
bro.
there's so many things that make it complicated in the context of like 4 bars of 4x4 music.
Mhm.
It's so impressive when somebody does it. Like the first thing I heard, I just went, "That's a limerick."
Yeah.
He threw a limerick rhyme in, and like, yeah, it's
He
just
went in.
it's just lyrically super impressive. Like
Very.
like the flow is just ridiculous.
And that's why I said, man, like that was the first time we heard AZ, you know, since the 90s probably. Maybe
And
like
he
early
hasn't lost a step.
maybe early 2000s. And yeah, like he came in.
He's
guns
actually
blazing,
gotten
son.
better.
Yeah. He came in
actually
guns
gotten better.
blazing. Him, Cormega was all right. Foxy, I feel like, to be honest, I feel like Foxy could have did a little better. But you know, but she killed it, man. You know what I'm
I
saying?
feel
She
like
did
the
her
time
thing.
was tight though for them. I think they could have all had an extra couple of bars personally.
Yeah.
I'm really, really been able to ramp up rather than
I agree. Yeah.
you know, just
Mm-hmm.
you know, I don't know. There's certain
It's nice to see. It's nice to see the group together, but it would be nice to, like,
Get a whole
honestly,
album.
it would, yeah, a whole album would be fucking great.
Yeah.
Especially considering how fucking good that song is,
Yeah, bro.
and how
It
good
was-
everybody
it was dope.
sounds.
If they could do
It
an
was dope.
album as the firm with Dre producing it,
I mean, fuck, man. Yeah, like,
Bro.
so you said that I turned pop or the firm flopped y'all. The reason that Dre ain't getting no sleep. So fuck y'all, all of y'all. If you don't like man, if you
Yeah,
could go
Bro,
back into
Dre,
that,
yeah, Dre would kill that jump.
that would be amazing.
real.
And Foxy being able to go off.
Yeah, man.
and by the way, again, because you know we're getting towards the end now. It's again, it's another fucking example of I started to hear that track. I start to hear these tracks towards the end of the album, and I think, oh no, because I start hearing that modern sounding auto tune thing, but then like Nas will come in or like AZ will come in. What like people come in and they haven't compromised the way that they write,
yeah,
even over like a new like trappier sounding beat,
right.
which makes it sound like a totally new cool thing.
But
No,
yeah,
it's just,
you know, they're getting into this new wave, man.
Yeah, but they're not.
Getting
Yeah, but
into
they're not
this new wave.
compromising when they do it.
Exactly. Right. Because like, you know, it still
What they
sounds like the
did
old
already
them.
still works over the new shit.
Exactly. And that's and right before we get to the next song, that's the problem, because a lot of people have been saying that, you know, they like, man, I love Nas, bro, but like Nas just be picking whack beats and yada yada yada, and they always got something to say about Nas, and it's like, bro, like Nas is staying true to hip hop, and
Well, you
that's
know,
the reason.
yeah.
That and we'll say this for another episode, but this is one of the reasons why I prefer Nas over Jay-Z, because I'm just one of them people where I'm like, you know, I just want to stay true to myself. And I love when people stay true to themselves. Jay has proven time after time that he has bit off of other people's styles. You know what I'm saying? Even his name isn't original. Like his hip hop mentor was Jaz-O.
I've got a
And-
funny story about Jay-Z actually.
Yeah, bro. Like his
Like it.
hip hop mentor was Jaz-O, and then he was like, okay, well, you know, his name is Jaz-O, so I'm gonna change my name to Jay-Z. Like, even your name ain't original, bro. You know what I'm
Man.
saying? Like,
I remember one time, but you know, but he knows that, and he's quite happy to make fun of himself for it. I'll tell you this one story.
That, and I
was
respect
playing, I was playing this gig one time for Jay Sean. Do you know Jay Sean? English dude.
that. Yeah,
He's like,
yeah. uh-huh.
baby, are you down, down, down,
Yeah, yeah,
down,
yeah.
down? Yeah, he came.
Yeah. Big
Yeah,
tune.
he did this gig. He has a DJ and a guitar player. He just hires the guitar player. So fucking the people that are booking it happen to be my mates, so they just go, "Hey, you want to be the guitar player?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll be the guitar player. Fuck it, let's go." it'll pay and it'll be fun.
Right.
So I learned the tracks. I made him, and he tells me this story in the green room about how one time when he's in New York, he is going up an escalator, and going down the escalator is Jay-Z.
Oh,
and Jay-Z goes, Jay Sean, you stole both my names.
Oh man, yeah, technically, yeah. Technically,
He's
Stole
funny.
his rap name
Jay-Z's
and his
funny.
first name.
Hey,
Yeah,
Jay-Z's
yeah.
funny. You know,
Yeah.
you stole
I give
both
him
my
that.
names. That's fucking good.
That's hilarious. Hilarious. But so 10 points. What do you guys think about that?
So it starts well. I think America the Beautiful, Gangster's Paradise. Great line. For black
Right?
man
It
to be
makes
rich.
you think, right?
Yeah, for black man to be rich, they got to sacrifice fun. Yeah, there's just the second verse, because we tend to be going through the lyrics rather than the music today. But that's cool. But the second verse.
Well, I think if you're gonna talk about Nas,
Nas,
like, I think you
yeah,
have
you
to
gotta,
talk about
yeah.
the lyrics primarily because I mean he's never been the rapper that has the
dopest music.
the most revolutionary dope beats. It's always been it's been about Nas and
Well, that's
Right.
That's why I was going to pick on the second
and
verse.
what he has to say. It's been about what he has to say,
'Cause
not
it's-
about what he's saying it over.
Because the second verse to me just is really bland. Which
Just bland?
Yeah, just the first couple of lines of it. It could be so much
Took it
more.
from a street
So
dude.
someone like Nas. Get a lawyer, read your contract,
Well,
and
yeah,
eat
I-
food. I'm like, all right, okay.
But
And
nah,
I know he's
bro,
passing out
like-
advice, but he could do it in a way more floral, sort of interesting way. I think with his skill.
I feel you, but I at the same time, I guess it's like, he's
And
trying
he's making
to be
it simple, like
as
3
literal.
points.
Yeah, he's trying to be as literal as possible. He's like, because you think about it, man, like he's saying, took it from a street dude. You don't need to be a street dude. Get a lawyer, read your contract, and eat food. Become Roberta Flack or Lionel. When you catch Flack, that mean that they got their eye on you. So
I like that line.
I like
Right.
that. I like that. Yeah,
but
yeah.
check
'Cause
this out. He's
I like how he gets to the rhyme.
Yeah. He starts getting his
Yeah,
usual
you know.
story, like produce great, we sort of say start to lie to you. Is
Yeah.
it for a Queen's dude in Supreme shoes? Like, that's when it gets cool. I just think the beginning of the verse, I'm like,
Right.
he doesn't come out
But
strong
check
for that
this
verse.
out.
It builds into it. But-
He's being as literal as possible,
yeah.
and he's talking to these younger rap cats. And I honestly think it's so important. I mean, it might not sound like it's important. It might sound bland because he's just saying eat food. But you really think about it, bro. These cats is like they taking so many drugs, bro. Like all of these new rappers. Like I mean, like I could be wrong, but I think that particular line, those first 2 lines, are targeted towards the newer rappers.
Yeah.
That very
These cats
first
are-
one is.
Yeah.
I think that very first line, as lazy of a rhyme it seems, it's a fucking powerful thing to say. Like
I'm telling you, man, because people need to hear it.
like
These
it's-
young cats
it's-
need to hear it.
because I mean, and and again, this is just like, imposing your own preconceptions on something that someone else wrote. But I read that as you've taken. You take advice from like the people that you're hearing on records or whatever. Like if you're a rapper, you take it from a street dude. So like, say he's talking about someone like fucking like an Ice Cube or someone who actually like fucking
Like been there. Yeah.
was there,
Right.
and you're listening to their albums, and then you're saying, I want to become a rapper too.
Right.
But maybe you grew up in like middle class or high class society or whatever, but you enjoyed their music. You don't have to rap about the same shit that they rapped about
Right.
just because they rapped about it. Just because they influenced you and you would like the way, like,
Right.
like you could rap that whole like fucking style, like
Right.
Ice Cube style of phrasing. You don't have to say, here's a little story about it. Like,
Right.
you could say whatever you want. But you could take influence from his style and
Exactly.
like how much
Exactly.
it affected you. But
Exactly.
you shouldn't rap about the same shit that he's rapping about because you
Right.
don't know what he's talking
Right.
about.
And you didn't live it.
You didn't live it.
Yeah.
Rap
So
about
that's-
rap about what you live. That's
Right.
that's the way that I read it.
and that's
But,
the
You should always write
And-
what you
and-
know. That's when you get the real heart of the
right.
Yeah.
And that's the
well, that's
first
why
line.
someone like Ice Cube is so fucking good.
right.
That's why someone like him is so. That's why it stands a test. That's why it's still a fucking cool song today.
But that's the first line. But then the
You know.
second line: get a lawyer, read your contract, and eat food.
That's just
Like-
plain advice, isn't it, man? That's just
Bro, but like it's needed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Because these
but it's
cats,
to learn the
man,
lessons from the people because
You know what I'm
people
saying?
like Ice Cube made fucking mistakes
Exactly.
and then
We-
documented mistakes.
we
Learn from
all-
those mistakes and don't make them.
we all seen the movie. We all heard the stories. He walked in that label office with a baseball bat and the mob and was like, yeah, all right, boom, and was smashing everything in there, bro, until he got what he wanted.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that like
Probably not the way to handle things.
you know what I'm saying? But apparently
It
it really
works.
had like
Yeah,
for
but
years we
for
heard the
him-
stories.
Yeah, but for him,
Mhm.
for the future generations, they don't need to do that shit because he's already done it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You
And he
don't
made it a
need to
point.
take. You should take that and think,
Right.
man, that guy worked hard. I'm
Right.
gonna really stay on the straight and narrow.
Right.
That's
Well-
what Ice Cube wants you to do. He doesn't want
Ice
you to go in
Cube-
with a fucking baseball bat. He wants you
Right.
to go to the
Ice
straight and narrow
Cube-
because you don't need to because he already did.
Ice Cube is telling people, he's one of the ones, him and Nas, they're telling people, okay, read your contract, get a lawyer so that you don't have to go in these offices with a baseball bat.
Exactly.
You know what I'm
exactly.
saying?
You don't
So-
need to do the stupid shit that he did
Right,
because you're not going to make the same mistakes that he did.
right, right.
That's. I mean, I don't know. That's how I read that first
Yeah.
line.
No, I feel you on
Right.
that one.
Do you know what I mean, Steve?
Also,
like even though it seems like a lazy rhyme because it's rhyming the same word with the same word,
so also,
You know, but it might be like worth sacrificing a rhyme for. I don't know, but
yeah.
I mean, dude, we're going fucking deep on Nas lyrics
know.
tonight. Like we're going deep, way deeper than I thought we would. But
That's
Steve's starting to look frustrated with how long it's taking because he knows how long it's going to take for the video to process.
there's all sorts of I need to eat.
dude, go and grab something to eat.
No, I'm cooking for the guys, so they're gonna kill me soon. So we have to.
What-
it-
wait, what
wrap it
time-
up at
what
some
time is
point.
it for you?
It's 6 p.m. now. We started this at 2 p.m. It's 4 hours ago.
Jesus Christ.
I thought 2 hours might be like 2 hours for one show. All right, 4 hours
Yeah.
later.
This is yeah,
That's what I
and
said.
this
man.
yeah, and this is
$30.
this is a bonus episode.
I know.
Yeah, man. But we went in. We went in.
That's right. We're getting
all
there. We're nearly there.
We really just got two more songs.
Yeah.
Well,
Let's
we
go ahead
gotta-
and move on from that one because I really wanted to go in on 10 points because he talks about like LeBron James and stuff like that, but it's not really that important. What's this next joint? The Cure.
The Cure.
And I thought this was funny because, you know, of course, like you got the disease and then you got the cure.
Yeah, I
You
like
know? It says the final song in the album, King's Disease, Nas opens up and talks about his career. The song's title likely coincides with the album's title, possibly being the cure for King's Disease. Too many changes, you change from your greatness, become a byproduct of yourself, all for the paper, regardless. The markets see you as a old ass artist. The McCartneys live past the Lennons, but the Lennons the hardest. Whew.
I love
That's
that.
a fucking interesting
That's a
line
bar.
right there.
That's a bar, son.
Because Lennon is Lennon.
You know
is,
what's
That's a
really funny about
bar.
that bar? That's such a funny bar to me because I always thought that Harrison was the best Beatle.
my dad's a huge Lennon fan, so I'm always on the team Lennon.
Really?
So yeah,
Yeah, man. I ain't gonna lie. I love Lennon too. But I don't know. I'm stuck in between because I love McCartney. You know, so
McCartney's
yeah.
done some absolute shit though. Bum,
You say he's what?
Bum bum baya, bum bum. Like there's some bad
But-
stuff that like
Yeah,
Mull of
well,
Kin- I don't know if you guys
yeah,
have
but
heard the song Mull of
Lennon had the
Kintyre.
luck. But Lennon had the luxury of dying young.
Yeah, see that's it. Yeah, you don't get. It's like Jimi Hendrix. and people
Historically,
like that. They
oh
would
my
have
God,
released some
that's-
bad music
that
at some
sounds-
point. You know.
oh. that sounds like such a cold thing to say, but it's true. Like Lennon had the luxury of dying young, historically.
Well, it's like Tupac or anyone like that. You're like, do you know what? They will have released bad albums.
So did Tupac. So did
like Nas. If Nas would have passed away after Illmatic, it would have been like the best ever. But then he released the album with Kanye, and you're like, that sucks. You know,
he would have been a myth. He would have been a mythological figure if he had it.
It's like Jeff Buckley,
Biggie, but with only one album. Like imagine, you know, fuck that. Like Jeff Buckley is a great example.
Just a ridiculous album, but yeah.
But it's interesting, like, because it's like it's one of those classic sort of things. Like you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become a villain. It's
and you know he's lived long enough to be rapping about what is it? King's on a king, straight from my pop to my son shit. Steak tartare, bloody mercury levels from raw fish. Sushi for lunch. Waiter at the table. The cork twist.
Like raw fish, sushi for lunch.
I'm like, where's this even like? If you listen to Young Nas, you're like, would he be talking about like how is he even get?
God.
I've studied like a book by many. They give me looks of envy. I took the Bentley. I'm reading it very English fashion. White chick like Liz Taylor might get a Bentayga. Or my Rick James behavior. Life is school for the soul, and I'm in life 7 already. Life's simple but heavy. You know, it just is insane. Dude, how he gets this to work, and he works so well.
It's like he's writing a diary and he takes a nap and then he wakes up and then like just as he's waking up, he starts writing into the diary again straight away. Like,
right.
Like, oh yeah, my kid threw up some fish.
My favorite line. The line that jumped out at me in this, I'm not sure if you guys got this the first time, but it just cracks me up. Everything from sexy to deadly. I done been through that shit. Still going deeper like I grew a new inch on my dick.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa.
Yeah, that's a bar. That's a bar right there.
Like, where'd that come from?
But check this out. So verse 2, he starts off, Cuban link, QB chain, belong in the MoMA. That's the modern, what is it? The modern, what does it stand for? The Museum of Modern Art.
Yeah, it's one in Seattle. It's one in Seattle.
Yeah, so Cuban link, QB chain, QB is Queensbridge, belong in the MoMA. So Boomerang used to loot my 27 summers.
I
praise the Boomerang.
Shut up.
And if me and Grant went to the MoMA together to see a Prince's exhibit.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, so I've really just, like I said, like that goes and it ties back into what we were talking about in the beginning. That Cuban link chain, bro, he made that hot. And then his Cuban link chain actually has like a medallion that says QB on it for Queensbridge. You know what I'm saying?
I thought it was quarterback when he said QB. That's what I thought it was on.
Nah, everybody does. Everybody does.
I knew QB because I knew QB meant Queensbridge. But that's only because I know nothing about the NFL.
Yeah, there you go. But and then there's also a line in here where he says, "I'm studied like a book by many.
Yeah.
They give me looks of envy. I took the Bentley. White chick like Liz Taylor might get a Bentayga on my Rick James behavior. Like,
life is
bro,
school
like
for
I'm
the soul.
I'm studied like a book by many.
Life is school for the soul, and I'm in life 7 already.
Man,
6 previous lives, Nas.
Got
Dude,
9 lives.
Also, Nas, like, just so Johnny, like we said before, like I sent you like a poemy thing for a thing that we're planning on doing. And hang on, what's the line I was thinking of when I'm thinking of this? Because I was thinking to myself when I was writing that shit, like for you, I was like, I want to put longer syllabled words that rhyme with each other straight after one another, like constantly, like in the middle of these paragraphs.
Yeah,
because I want the rhyming patterns to be complicated. And like, what do we got? We got there's one in this second verse. Yeah, like this one. Like Pac saw the chain, got his medallion, and then he says, I won't insinuate imitation.
Yeah.
Like that sort of thing.
Yeah.
That's very rare amongst MCs. Like, not only do the rhyme to the two words, like if you really wanted them to, they would be considered like rhyming words with enough syllables to get through an entire line, but also they start with the same letter. Also, the two words before them start with I. Like, there's lots of layers to it, the rhymes that Nas makes, which I find very impressive.
Only cats who are going to like read his stuff are going to get that, you know.
Well, yeah, that's why he's so fucking great.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't underestimate his audience.
Yeah.
Which is something that I really respect about Nas.
All
he's
right.
never underestimated his audience.
Last track. So he's got Fivio Foreign. You guys probably never heard of this cat. But
I have not, no.
yeah, but he's also a New York. He's actually a New York a new New York artist. Not sure which part of New York he's from exactly, but he's coming up. You know, he's getting some fame. And then ASAP Ferg. So yeah, man, ASAP is also a part of New York. He's from Harlem, if I'm not mistaken. So just like I said, man, like just hearing both of them on a track with Nas, like it says a lot. It's like, okay, you know, he got some young guns, you know what I'm saying, to help him out, and they did their thing, you know. Nas killed it. You know, it's really just a song just about just getting money. You know, it's a good way to just end the album. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Wear a mink at the roller rink in the middle of the summer.
Yeah, you know, like he's like, I used to run the blocks now. I used to run the block. Now I'm corporate, hopping out. You know, it's sun when the doors lift, and of course, sun means God's son, which is also his nickname.
Yeah.
Model bitches, that's precise. Fuck attendance off the flights. Keep the vision through the lights, never blinded by the hype.
Bro, like they really went on this joint. Like they went in on it.
Dude.
For real.
G stay icy, cause shit gets spicy.
Yeah.
She on demon time. I get her a time pace.
Like, so yeah, it's really nothing else we can really talk about.
Yeah.
Cause money, beat the charge money, fast money, push the start money, large money, Escobar money.
You know what? You shouldn't end an album on a lyrically deep track. You should just
have some fun with it. Yeah.
Have some fun.
Right. Have some fun. And I do agree. Because I mean, like it's to me, it depends on the album. Like if I want the whole album,
massively depends.
Yeah, like it's like if I want the whole album to be a serious album, then yeah, like I would want it to end on a serious note. And it also depends on how the album started, and it depends on, you know, the trail that we're making. But you know, this particular album, like it's, you know, he talks about a little of everything. You know what I'm saying? So there's really no theme to it, but he talks about a little of everything. And yeah, so of course, you know, you want to end on like a party note, happy note, you know. And it's really Spicy is actually considered a bonus track. So
really?
So the Cure is actually supposed to be the last, you know, song on the album. And then Spicy
that makes sense.
Spicy is actually the bonus track. So that's funny. It's supposed to be, it's listed like that, you know. So yeah, man, you know, there you have it, guys. You guys ready to clock out? I know Steve is.
Yeah, I gotta do things, but I do want to know your scores. Are we going to give it a score each out of 10? I'd like to do that. I'd like to see where you'd put it.
Out of 10?
I think
out of 10?
You want to do out of 10?
I can, out of 10. That seems fair.
All right.
Yeah, so what do you...
You guys go first.
Steve,
what you give it?
You see, you're not going to like mine. I don't think you're going to like it.
Uh-oh.
I think that Nas has to be held at a high regard, and a lot of this stuff didn't really resonate with me musically. Even though it's produced really well, it's just not my bag. Some of the music, it takes away from what his raps are a little bit. Just because just personal choice. But just having a firm on there is awesome. I will stick at my original, which was 7 out of 10. I'm going to go for, which is a little lower than I thought I was going to go for when I first stuck it on 2 days ago. So.
I can respect that.
I like that you think that's harsh. By the way.
Right.
No,
Like,
no.
seven ain't bad.
No, that's harsh for Nas.
Yeah.
Like that's what I mean. I thought I was going to be
Yeah.
like, whoa, this is going to be like a 9 out of 10. Like Compton or like we're talking about,
Right.
or Kendrick or that. They're like my 9s. Like, and I thought it'd be that like that.
Yeah.
But no, 7. I mean,
Right.
it would have been 6 if I didn't start looking deeper into the lyrics yesterday. I was like, man, I didn't.
Right.
I feel
I
like
didn't pick
I
up
feel
on
like
some
the
You
stuff.
can't be mad at that.
Yeah.
I feel like the conversation is only going to make us rate it higher. Honestly, like
Well, go ahead, because I've had my number in my head since we started, and actually before
Since we
we started
yesterday.
and I'm not, I'm not going to change. But go ahead, G.
yeah, I think I'll say the same thing as Steven. Like I'd give it like a good solid like 7 out of 10 because I like listening through it. I remember thinking, oh yeah, it's nice and nostalgic. Like it's Nas being Nas. Like I was.
Right.
Then when you got to the second half, I started getting very iffy on the music side of it, but then getting relieved that he didn't change his rapping style over
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
Right.
That's why it's a 7,
then-
not a 6 for me.
Yeah, yeah, and then like I might have rated it a little bit lower before we had the chat about it because I didn't understand a lot of the things that he was saying
Right.
until you explained it to me.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. Like to me, overall, as much as I enjoy it, I enjoy everything Nas does. So
Right.
I think I would say, to me, overall, it's a little bit of like a safe record.
Okay,
If I'm being honest, like
I can see that.
it's you know, because I know that that fucking Kanye produced bullshit.
Right. Yeah, we're not
then
even
some-
gonna
and then-
we're not
yeah,
even
and then
gonna
some-
act like that exists.
exactly.
Like right now. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
exactly. Like, but
Yeah.
but I don't know. It's nice to see him go back to what he's supposed to be doing, so to speak.
Right.
But it sounds like it also sounds to me like he recorded half of it a year ago and half of it a month ago. So it sounds a little bit disjointed, but overall it seems kind of safe,
Right.
which
So-
sounds a bit weird, but you know what I mean. It's
Yeah. So
it doesn't sound like a complete album to me. It sounds
Right.
it sounds like half of it sounds really fucking great to me, and the other half sounds like he rushed it out.
Right. So so with that being said, because it's funny, because like Nas has said in past interviews, actually after dropping Lost Tape 2, we didn't even see Lost Tape 2 coming out. Like we remember Lost Tape 1, and we were like, oh, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? And that's supposed to be it's like a compilation album or whatever. And then all of a sudden Lost Tapes 2 come out, and I'm like, oh snap. So these are just songs that were just unreleased, or just songs that were like on mixtapes, yada yada yada. After that drop, Nas said that he has a couple of lost tapes, like compilation albums, you know what I'm saying, like in here, and recorded somewhere, you know what I'm saying? And he also has a lot more albums to release as well. So that's super dope to hear. Really looking forward to it.
I would never complain about more Nas.
Yeah, because it's like it's one of those things where it's like, okay, if this is just like something to just kind of put out, but it's also dope, then I'll give him that, because he still has way more product. Like I think he actually, he might be trying to do another Firm album as well, like a reunion Firm album. So he's got many projects, man. As long as he stays healthy and keeps, going down the right direction, I don't expect him to steer us wrong, That being said, I'm going to give this album a 8 out of 10. It was going to be a 9, but then I had to really sit back and I had to really say, you know what? It's not the best Nas album
he has
that I've heard.
Compared to Illmatic.
Well, the problem
there's
with
a big
Nas
difference,
is the problem with Nas is that you're inevitably going to compare everything he does to Illmatic, and which is horribly unfair.
to me, honestly, because Illmatic is dope, but to me, honestly, I'm going to compare everything to a couple different ones.
I like Stillmatic.
It Is Written.
Oh, It Is Written.
Still Mitten is. I mean, still.
Still Mitten.
Still Matic. Still. Yeah, I'm still mitten like a kitten. Anyway, I'm still Matic. Still Matic is dope. But It Is Written does it for me, man. The first track, the message. Oh my God, that I listen to that track like at least like 3 times a week.
I think it says a lot.
Fronting.
Yeah.
The second verse, I seen you fronting. I was in the Jeep, sunk in the seat, tinted with heat, beats bumping across the street. You was wilding, talking about how you ran the Allen in '89. Like, oh my God, bro! Like bars, son. I was in it, and it's so vivid. You can vision that. I see you fronting.
I love
in the
Stillmatic.
Jeep, sunk in the seat. Like
I love Stillmatic because I think like the most impressive hip hop track of all time to me is The Rewind.
Was that still? Oh yeah, that was Stillmatic. Yeah, and I do agree with that. Yeah.
I mean,
that was
still,
a hard one.
it's still
Just
phenomenal now.
The concept of it, like he tells a story in reverse.
Yeah,
But-
crazy.
Have you
It's
heard Plan B? His sort of a homage to it.
No,
Plan B. I can't
I
remember
don't
the
think so, no.
tune, 'cause he's talking. What's the song called? God damn it! It's gonna come back to me, but I'm sure our listeners know. But Plan B, English rapper and great singer and great actor. He's everything. You know, he's everything. He's brilliant, and he's been very quiet for a long time. But anyway,
Yeah,
But I can't remember what the track is. He starts off doing what he's doing, and then he says, like Nas, I'm going to do it in reverse. And from that point, the story goes in reverse. It's
Oh, that's
absolutely
awesome. That's really
awesome.
cool.
Try and find it.
I need
see
to
what
look
you
it
think.
up. Yeah.
And it's
Send it to us on the messages.
He
'Cause
shouts out
I
Nas.
want to hear that. Yeah.
But he's one of those guys. He's not trying to do it and be like, hey, look what I've done to people who don't know who Nas is or whatever. He literally goes,
Right.
just like Nas.
Like Nas.
And then
yeah.
goes, so people then listen to it and go, who's Nas? Like his younger listeners. So it's
Is
great
it-
education throwback. It's brilliant. Really good. I can't remember the name
Is
of the
it-
track though, but you'll
is
find
it
it.
called "Sick to Death"?
Maybe. Oh, it'd take me ages. I'd
Hey,
have to find it.
Either way, man.
It's just him playing guitar.
That's a testament. It's a testament to one's greatness when
Yeah.
when people won't bite you,
Right.
Oh yeah.
when they will only ever reference you when they want to pay homage because they want to actually pay homage to you. And it's
Right.
also a testament to one's greatness when like people like me and Johnny and you like we say, you know, well, we're supposed to compare it to Illmatic, but that's not my favorite album. My favorite Nas album is this one. Well, my favorite one is this one. Well, my favorite one is this one.
Yeah.
Like how great must you be to have at least 4 albums that people consider to be your best? That's like Michael Jackson shit.
Yeah, man.
That's Prince shit. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like,
Yeah, cause like don't get me wrong. Like Illmatic is that one. You know what I'm saying? That and he talks and like you guys got to see that interview with him in the Breakfast Club because he mentions that he's like somebody asked like, did you ever have that moment where you were like, okay, like man, like am I, you know, am I ever gonna flop? You know what I'm saying? Because you know some people think that moment was after Illmatic, and he said something along the lines of like, yeah,
after
man, you know
just
that
start.
right, you know, because like,
Jesus
you know how
Christ,
like,
that's-
well, no, like you know how like a lot of these artists, they usually that sophomore album usually doesn't hit like that first album, and the first album just blew up. So that second one, it's like, man, this junk got to be hot. And, you know, he admits to being a little nervous about it. But then once he got past that and got past that and got past that, and then album after album after album, eventually, like now in like the 2010s, he's like, okay, what's going to happen now if I drop an album? You know what I'm saying? Because like, you know, I've been dodging these bullets and I've been creating like these dope records. So am I still going to be able to like do that? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But like I said, like I gave it an 8 because, you know, he's finally opening up and he's collabing with, you know, so many different young people, man, and he's embracing them, and I'm sure they're embracing him. you know, and I think that's super cool. And at the same time, he's not changing who he is. He's not changing his flow, his sound, or anything like that. He's just like, and he's still giving us that message, you know, and it's you know, it's still hot. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, you know, I give it an 8. I give it an 8.
Yeah, so we're all kind of in the same ballpark. Like,
Yeah, it's not
we all
the
think
best.
pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, it's not the, you know, it's not his greatest, but
24
it's
out of
definitely
30.
up there.
24 out of 30, if you're looking at it that way. 24 out of 30.
Yeah.
That's pretty
24
good.
out of 30 is a fucking great album.
Yeah, man, that's pretty
It's,
good, bro. You know, and
I
mean,
remember
like,
when I was in high school, like doing like essays and shit. If I and I had 3 people judging it, if I went into the guitar competitions,
Mhm.
when I went into guitar competitions when I was in my teens, if I got 24 out of 30, I won.
You're right.
Let's put it that
says
way.
a lot. That says
You know
a
what I'm
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you got 24
So-
out of 30 with 3 judges, you probably are going to be top 3 in the competition. Like,
It's,
yeah.
it's 20,
So-
22 out of 30, by the way. I messed that up. Sorry.
Is it 20?
well, yeah, maybe not.
I'm like, hang on a
Oh,
minute.
yeah.
7 plus 7 is 40 plus 8 is 22. There you go.
Right.
You're the editor. I don't get paid to do
Right.
No,
that.
I'm not editing this one. I can't. One of you two's got to edit this one. It's your turn. Your
I don't
turn
want
to-
this one to be edited. I want This is going to be
Just split.
no. Steve, you're going to put this in the Dropbox.
Mhm.
I'm going to sync it.
I'll sync the audio and everything, and then I'll put it in Dropbox, and you guys can do whatever
fine.
you want. You guys will have
You
to
say-
upload
yeah.
it for me and everything, so that you won't be able to.
No,
So
this is perfect.
you just have to chop off bits like this.
You sync it tomorrow. Put it in the Dropbox.
Mhm.
I'll upload it to the page. I'll send Johnny the audio, and we'll just put it up. One long thing as is.
I think too.
Or maybe we'll cut it in. Oh, maybe we'll cut it in half. We'll cut
I
it in
think
half.
too,
do it
and
in
then we
2
can
parts.
have.
Throw one up tomorrow. Throw the second one up on the weekend,
Yeah, whatever.
and then on the weekend we'll record our regular one
No, actually,
because this is a bonus episode.
it's
a bonus episode.
let's
for the
not look at
people.
this as a bonus episode because I'm away all week, so I won't be able to record anything before
Right,
next
right,
Tuesday.
right,
So we
right,
might have to use this
right.
for next Tuesday. Actually,
Oh, you can't.
No, because I'm away till Tuesday.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
crap,
So
I didn't think that.
how about
Yeah.
this?
Why
How
don't we use this
about-
for? Why don't we use this for the next 2 Tuesdays? It gives us 2 weeks grace as well on getting some more
That's
stuff.
cool.
And that's less pressure. And I won't be here at the weekend anyway, so we could do
down
this
with
the
it.
next 2
Okay,
Tuesdays.
that's
and
fine.
then we're about right to hit the Hendrix stuff. Actually,
Yeah. Down
Yeah,
with
if we
it.
start it around the
Yeah.
date that he died, or if it hits in the middle, then yeah, that works. That's
okay,
fine.
okay,
Well, let's go ahead and
Anyway.
sign out.
yeah. So
Anyway,
edit
Johnny,
that bit
take
out,
us out.
Grant. You're in charge of editing that bit
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
I'll cut that. I'll cut that 45 seconds out. And
Yeah,
then we'll be
any
cool.
time that we go, what are we gonna? I'm just like off.
Right,
they don't
right,
need to hear us
yeah.
talking about this.
Okay.
That's all meeting
So
stuff.
I always
you
go
know.
to the end bit where Johnny's going to speak now, and then just go
Hey.
back until we stop talking
Yeah.
about bullshit.
Johnny,
Office.
Steve, if it's synced when you put it in the Dropbox, it'll be no problem.
Yeah, it'll be
Yeah.
as synced as it can be. I've given up with trying to sync it perfectly because our internet all moves a little bit. So, and this is going to be
So,
a 4-hour-long show.
So
It was fun though. It was fun.
It was.
it was. So thank you guys, all of our listeners and our viewers. If you guys have listened to every little bit of this episode, we appreciate you.
And
We really
God
do.
help you.
And you win a cookie. You know, but yeah, no, we really do, man, because like this is definitely going down as one of our longest episodes, but that's what happens when you review a whole album with how many tracks?
13.
A whole
13.
album with
13.
what? 13
tracks.
tracks.
Track by track.
and-
Fucking-
Right, track by track, and you're like going in detail with not only just like some regular artists, like with, you know, simple like artistry. No, like this is like a legend, living legend, a true writer.
Thank you.
Georgetown,
Somebody who deserves the time.
like prestigious colleges have like studied this guy in English, like in their English department. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think it was like Harvard or Georgetown or, you know, one of these schools, Yale. I think it was actually Yale, the English department at Yale. sat down with Nas, and so that says a lot. Like you kind of have to give time to really review this guy, and this episode has been really fun. We all kind of like shared our own opinions and and learn from each other, which is dope. So we really appreciate you guys for tuning in. This is Bones, Twigs, and Wigs. Cue the music.
I'm not in charge of it this week, so let's see what happens. I'm going back to my way.
Yeah, son, what? BT Dubs. Yeah. What?
My name is Wiggins, and I'm here to say we're the greatest podcast in the USA and Australia, and the UK too. You don't like what I say? Well, hey, fuck you.
Oh my god. On that note, we're out, man. Look, it's like 1 o'clock. I've been up since like 8 in the morning really 9 doing this, and I know it's probably like what time is it to you, Grant?
It's actually not that bad. It's not even 3:30 in the morning.